Here's an accusation that's been thrown at China for some time. China's a currency manipulator. Is that actually true? Well, yes and no. Mostly no, because it's a little bit more complicated than that. Essentially, the US currency is free floating. It's on a free market basis. The demand for it determines how expensive the currency is. So China purchases a lot of US currency, purchases a lot of debt, treasury bonds, all that stuff, to increase the value of the US dollar. When the value of the US dollar increases, it makes it easier for American companies to buy goods from China. So China purchases a lot of US debt in order to make Chinese goods more attractive to US buyers. So it's in their interest to do so. But it's a free market in currency. It's allowed to free float wherever the market takes it, and that's where China's taking it. However, at the same time, a high US dollar makes it difficult for the US to export to other countries because the US dollar is so expensive, and if you want to buy something in the US, you have to buy US dollars in order to do so. So essentially what we're looking at is a contradiction within the capitalist class. The exporters want the dollar low enough so that they can export. The importers want the dollar high enough so they can import more. And that's really what we're looking at. Now, China really isn't manipulating the market if the market is supposed to be unregulated and free anyway. China is really only doing what's in its own rational economic interest. This, however, conflicts with those in the United States that want to export to other countries. So is that a manipulation in your view? Like I said, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But essentially, China, one, is not doing anything illegal. Two, they're not even really doing anything that's inherently unethical, which is that even possible under capitalism? I mean, there is no ethics under capitalism. But that's basically the whole story. It's good for one section of the capitalist class, it's not good for another. Now, the height of the accusations came during the Obama administration. China was a currency manipulator. They were going to the UN and the IMF looking to punish China for supposed currency manipulations. Of course, they didn't actually get what they wanted because the accusation is essentially nonsense. But the fact that you can make this accusation, and the reason the US government chose to go with it, was because it was something that they could use to demonize China, which is a global competitor, not only financially, industrially, and in terms of spheres of influence. So that's why it was essentially used to attack China, even though a high US dollar actually benefits a large portion of the capitalist class in the United States, because there is a contradiction between the importers and the exporters, and it's also something that the US government can use to demonize a global competitor. So to answer the question, is China a currency manipulator? According to regulatory bodies, international ones, no, it certainly is not. They're just carrying out the same basic market practice. If it's a free market, which it is for the US dollar, because it's not pegged to anything, it's not pegged to another currency, it's not pegged to a precious metal, it's free, its value is free to float, then China isn't actually doing anything wrong, and that's just simply where the market is going, because that's the demand for currency. So to answer the question, is China actually a currency manipulator? As we understand currency manipulation, no, China is not. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.